He was wearing a Blake leather Jackson, black leather pants, and a Good Charlotte t-shirt. "Hi, vampire," I said flirtily as I started to sob. Draco hugged me sexily, trying to comfort me. I started to cry tears of blood and then told them what happened. "Oh, fuck it," Vampire shouted angrily. He started to cry too. "What fucking dick did that?" "I don't know," I said. "Now come on, we have to tell Dumbledore." We ran out of the tree and into the castle. Dumbledore was sitting in his office. "Sire, our dads have been shot," Draco said, while we wiped some tears from his white face. "Enoby had a vision in a dream." Dubladre started to cockle. "Ha ha ha ha! And how do you aspect me to know Ebony's not divisional?" I glared at Dumbledore. "Look, motherfucker," he said angrily as Dumbledore gasped. "See, is that toot of Craker? You know very well that I am not decisional. Now get some fucking people out there to look for Ceres and Lucian porn to." "Okay," he said in an intimidated voice. "Where are they?" I thought about it. Then all of a sudden, "Long Dawn," I said. I told him which street. He went and called some people and did some stuff. After a few mistunes, he came back and said people were going out looking for them. After a while, someone called him again. He said that they had been found. Draco, Vampire, and I all left for our rooms together. I went with Draco to wait at the nurse's office while Vampire went to slit his wrists in his room. We looked at each other's gothic, depressed eyes. Then we kissed. Suddenly, Sirius and Lucian came in on stretchers, and Professor Sinister was behind them. Chapter 27. Vampires Will Never Hurt You. Author's note. You know what? I don't give a fuck what you preps think about me 1011. So stoop flaming the fucking story bitches 1011. Thanks to Raven for your love and support and help. I love you, girl. So I couldn't update. Lol, I really was depressed. And I slit my wrists. I had to go to the hospital. Raven, you rock, girl. And then there's a series of ones. I'm not even going to try to guess how many that is. Everyone in the room stated to cry happily. I had saved them. Draco, Lucian, Sirius, Bond, Villain, Vampire. All came to hug me. The nurse started to give them medicine. "Come on, Enoby," said Professor Sinistra. She was wearing a gothic Blake Lader dress with a corset top and real vampire blood on it, and fucking black platinum boots. I have to tell you the fucking perdition. I looked at Lucian, Seraphs, Drake, and Vampire. They nodded. I smelled happily and went into the dark room. I had changed. Professor Sinister took out some black cards. She started to look into a black crucible ball. She said, "Tara, I see Drac times are near," she said badly. She peered into the balls. "You see, you must go back in time." She took out a time toner like Bloody Mary had. When Voldemort was in Hogwarts before he became powerful, he got his hearth broken. Now, do you think he would still become Voldemort if he was in love? I shook my head. You must go back in time and seduce him. It is the only way. If he is still evil, then you must kill him. You can come to my room tomorrow and you can do it. Okay, I said sadly. We did death sins. I went outside again sadly. What fucking happened? Asked Draco and Vampire. Yeah, what happened? Asked Darkness, Willow, and Boldy Mary. I was about to tell them, but everyone was there. They were celebrating Lucian and Sirius being fond. Everyone was proud of me, but I just wanted to talk to Draco. They were cheesing my name, and some reporters were there, trying to interview Dumbledore. A banner was put up. Lots of fucking preps were there, obviously trying to be gothic, wearing the hymn signs on their hands despite them not having actually heard of him. Even Mr. Norris looked happy. A Blake and red cake had been brought out. Crab and Goyick set up some fireworks in the shapes of skulls from Wesley Wizard's Wises. I put on my invisibility cloak with Vampire and Draco, and we sneaked out together. Chapter 28. Author's note. I said stop Grifflemen de story. It was a miscat when Professor Ridoley said that okay, 1,100,111. Go to fucking hell, you suck, fangs to feely da help, Raven have fun with Kiwi. We went into a Blake room. The walls were Blake, with portraits of gothic bands like MCR, GC, and Marlin Mason all over them. A big black coffin was in the middle. Red velvet lined the Blake box. There were 3 chairs made out of bones with real skulls in them. I was wearing a black Blake corset with purple stuff on it, fishnet suckings, and a Blake leather thong underneath. I sat down one of the chairs dispiritedly. So did Draco and Vampire. Are you okay? Vampire asked, potting his albastard hand on mine. He was wearing black nail polish. I was wearing Blake nail polish with red crosses on it. Yeah, I guess, I said sadly. Draco also pot his hand on mine sexily. I smiled sadly with my Blake lipstick. The problem is, I have to seduce Voldemort. I'll have to go back in time. Draco started to cry sadly. Vampire hugged him. It's okay, Eboby, he said finally. But what about me? You're not going to break up or anything, are you? Of course not, I gasped. Really? He asked. Sure, I said. We Frenched sexily. Vampire looked at us longingly. Then I took off Draco's MCR shrift and seductively took off his pants. He was hung like a Stallone. Jesus. Sorry. He was hung like a Stallone. He had replaced the vampire tattoo that said Enobi on it. Black roses were around it. I gasped. He looked exactly like Gerard Way. Vampire took a Vido camera. I had said it was okay before. I took of my clothes. Then we were in for the rid of our liff. We started fretching each other. We started fretching as we climbed into the coffin. He put his Spock into my you-know-what, and passively we did it. I love you, Eboby. Oh, let me feel you. I need to feel you, he screamed as we got an orgasm. We watched. Vampire filmed everything perfectly. Suddenly, what the fuck are you doing? It was Snope and Professor McGoggle, 111. Chapter 29. Author's notes. Sot de fucks up, 1-1. You're just jealous 'cause you preps folk you. 1111. Raven, you rock girl. Fangs for the help. MCR rocks. 666! Exclamation point. And again a bunch of ones. Oh my Satan! 1! We screamed as we jumped out of the coffin. Snap and Professor McGonagall started to shoot at us angrily. Come now, Preacher McGonagall yielded. We did, guiltily. We left the room putting on our clothes. Snoop garbed the caramel and put it in his pocket. Hey, what the fuck, 111? Vampire shooted angrily. Yeah, Buster, what the fuck are you going to do with the fucking camera? Draco demanded all protective, looking at me longly with his gothic red eyes. Look, Dumbledore knows your little secret, and if you do this again, then you will go to St. Mango's, so give back the camera, 1011. Ha 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 ha! The mystery of Mojic thinks he is crazy. There's no way Day will believe him. Snoop laughed meanly. Yes, so shut your mouth, your mapooth, you innocent fools, yelled Professor McGoggle. She made us come into a weird room with white stones all around it. There were these weird tools in it. Draco started to cry all sexy and sexative. Get it? 'Cause he's sex bomb like Tom Felsnot, rules for life, but not as much as Gerard, your sex on legs. I love you, you fucking rock, marry me, 111. I started to cry tears of blood. It happens in Vampire Chronicles. Raven said so. Okay, so fuck you, one. Vampire took out a black handkerchief and started to wipe my red eyes. And then he and Snoop both took out magic using guns. They started to shoot each other angrily. None of the ballots got each other yet. I took out my wand. Crocio, I shouted. Snap started to scream and he dropped the gun. But it was too late. Both of them had run out of ballets. I stopped the curse. Professor McGoogle did a spell so that we were all chained up. She took out a box of tools. Then she said, Okay, Cerberus, I'm going to go now. She left. Snap started to laugh evilly. Vampire started to cry. It's okay, Enobi, said Drake. Evergreen will be all right. Remember the Sidio you took of Snape? Snape laughed again, and then he took out some whips. Chapter 30. Author's Notes. Stop flaming the story, okay? You do not know what even was going to happen, okay? So full you. If you flam, you will be preps, so all flammers can kiss my ass. 111. Saws for saying Alzheimer's is dangerous, but that's the mystery's opinion. Cause society basically sucks. Thanks to Raven, you rock Bic. 111. No, 11, we screamed sadly. Snap stated loafing meanly. He took out a Chimera Anvili, and then he toured Doko. He took some stones out of his pocket. He put the stones around Draco, and a knit with candle. What the fuck are you doing? I shooted angrily. Snoop laughed meanly. He pulled down his pants. I gasped. There was a dork mark on his you-know-what, 11. He waved his wand and a niff came. He gave da niff to me. You must stab... You must stab Vampire, he said to me. If you don't, then I'll rap Draco. No, you fucking bastard, I yielded. But then Draco looked at me sadly with his evil gothic red eyes that looked so depressant and sexy. He looked exactly like a pentagram. Lol, get it? 'Cause I'm a satanist? Between Kurt Cobain and Gerard. But then I looked at Vampire and he looked so smexy too with his gothic black hair. I thought of the time we screwed and the time I did it with Draco and Dumbledore came, and the tame where Draco almost committed suicide and Vampire was so sportive. Snipe laughed angrily. He started to pray to Voldemort. He started to do an incapacitation dancing around the strokes, whipping Draco and Vampire. Suddenly, an idea I had. I closed my eyes and using my vampire powers, I sent a telepathic massage to Draco and Vampire so they would destruct Snape. Dumbledore will get you, Draco shooted. Yeah, just wait until the mystery find out, 11, Vampire yelled. Meanwhile, I took out my wand. You ridiculous donderhead, Snoop yelled. You ridiculous I can't do a Snoop Dogg voice. I really wish I could. You ridiculous donderhead, Snoop yelled. He took all of Draco's clothes off, just as he was about to rape him. Crossio, I shitted, pointing my wound. Snoop screamed and started running around the room, screaming. Meanwhile, I grabbed my Blake mobile and sent a text to Sirius. I stopped doing Crucio. You dunderhead, 111, I'm going to kill, shooted Snape, but suddenly Cerberus came. Snake put the whip behind his back. Oh, hello, Sev. I was just teaching them something, he lied. But suddenly Lucian and Professor Trevelry came in the room, and they and Sirius unlocked the chains and put them around Snap. Then Professor Trevelry came on, who said, "Come on, Ebony, let's go." That has been chapters 25 through 30 of the amazing Harry Potter fan fiction, My Immortal. We will finish this up in the next part, and probably going to have a wrap-up video afterwards just to talk about it a little bit, because believe it or not, there are things you can take away from this story. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next video, which will be starting up and will be up soon. Goodbye.